I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail heroic. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to get your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Important things are giving you peace.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a teamwork thing. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That's easy. You're going to make a profit.
Look, these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird O' Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Enterprise Wednesday for February 1st, 2023. Today we are watching Season 1, Episode 18 of Enterprise, Rogue Planet. And this episode premiered March 30th, 2002. We had almost a full month jump since the previous episode. And welcome, Resolute Germ, to the panel.
Hi, Bird.
I don't know about you, but Rogue Planet, not one of my, I would say, is not one of the top 50% Enterprise episodes. At least not that I remember. Always open to a change, but we'll see.
I don't even remember the episode.
Okay, it's about a rogue planet. Big surprise. And welcome, Professor Brainy Specs.
Qapla, Bird.
Qapla, Professor. I was just about to read some of your comments in the chat.
Oh, please do.
Well, first in the chat was Professor Brainy Specs. With how much longer do we have to wait? Just how much later will Bird O' Prey 5 be? And also, you are killing me. You are so late. Professor, I was not late. I started 3 minutes early.
I believe that's inaccurate.
You see, here's the thing. You claim that you don't run a rigged game and that, I need to trust you on such things. But then you come here and you tell so many lies that how can I trust anything you ever say?
You have to just trust me, Bird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 54.5 Access Radio says happy Groundhog's Day Eve. Thank you. John Araki says perhaps Bird's next leap will be the leap home. At least I know that Quantum Leap is back on TV. They've come back from their hiatus. and there's been 3 episodes aired since their break, and I believe it was November. So I've seen one of the 3 episodes so far of the new Quantum Leap since the break. John DeMario says, it's been a long road waiting for Bird to appear. It hasn't been that long. At least it shouldn't have been.
I think he was saying something else, Bird.
Oh. Okay. And then Professor.
I think your interpretation was inaccurate.
Well, you might have some sort of shorthand to more easily rig games and whatnot that I'm not aware of.
Well, there's no rigging going on, but you know.
Professor Brainy Speck says, it's been a long road getting Bird to start on time. It's been a long time. When will the time be finally near? When will I see the stream start at last? When will I see the show? Well, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Very late, but yes, it's time, I guess.
Resolute Germ says, hello all. Hello, Resolute. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Chrono says first, and Qapla All. John DeMarco says, greetings to everyone. Yvette says, good evening, Bird and everyone. Qapla, Yvette. Chrono says, hey to John and Yvette. Mike Richards says, hey to John, Professor, and greetings. Yvette says, hey to Chronos. John DeMarco says, hello to Mike. I put in the link to join the panel and the watch in the screening room. If you are not watching live, then the screening room will not help you. If you are watching this live, head to the screening room at birdofprey5.com/SR, and you can watch the episode live with us. Miss Lundell's Groovy Movie says, Qapla, Qapla. Miss Lundell. Kronos wants to know about Kurogan shock troops. That is, of course, classified. The lovely Sherry is here. Qapla. Live long and prosper to the lovely Sherry. I am not late. LDG at hashtag free the net is here and says, my version was titled Rogue Foot. John Araki says, Bird of Prey 5 sleep number bed would be 69. Actually, John Araki, I did have a sleep number bed before I got sick. My bed of choice was a sleep number bed, and my sleep number was 100, as firm as it would get. 95, 100. That's where I'd keep it. That was my sleep number. It wasn't a bad bed. It just, I don't know. I don't know I would get one again. John Araki says, Bird's Powerball numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the Powerball, you would think the Powerball would be 7. The Powerball is 13. Bruno says that's the combination to his luggage. Of course it is. John DeMarco says librarians are very trustworthy. I don't know about that, John.
I appreciate that, John.
47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Qapla 47 Yorktown. Chrono says, is there going to be a Groundhog's Day Eve party later? Not here. Not here. Dan Ben says, hi, Dan Ben. Dan Ben says, how does this planet survive not being part of a star system what makes it rogue? Well, it's rogue because it isn't part of a star system. As to how it survives, in the pre-production, the thought was that there were going to be huge hydrothermal vents, that the heat was going to come up from the core of the planet, and that was what was going to keep it warm. But I suspect that was too expensive to shoot. So we really don't know why it's able to support life, but it is. It is. Cronus says, do sleep number beds make you count? Only on the remote. You have to figure out what number you want to set it to. And Captain Fandom Nerd with hashtag librarians are liars. That's what I've heard, Captain. That's what I've heard.
You know, for somebody that doesn't trust librarians and thinks games are rigged, you do play the game.
Well,
every week.
I've got to try to win.
Uh-huh.
The only way to know for sure if it's rigged is to play and find out.
Oh, is that right?
It is.
How do you determine that it is indeed rigged?
Well, if I win by enough, then I know it wasn't rigged. If I only win by a little bit, or God forbid I lose, it's clearly rigged.
What about the other players?
They don't really figure into it that much.
I see. So you want a game that's just set up so you can win by a good amount?
No, I want a fair game.
No, that's not what you said.
No, I said the other players don't really matter too much. In a fair game, I would win.
That doesn't sound like a fair game to me.
I don't know. It's complicated, but I don't expect
I'm sure you can explain it.
I really can't explain it. You're putting me on the spot here. But basically, because I am like the #1 Star Trek fan, if I don't understand it or if I didn't get the answer, it's likely because of a problem in the question itself.
You know, you've offended Mike Richards. Are you happy now, Bird?
Mike Richards says, I was a library assistant at OSU Maine. I'm officially offended. Well, Mike Richards, it had nothing to do with librarian assistants. It was only actual librarians. John Araki says, question of the day from Mamo Prey. What is your mattress of choice and firmness? Did Berto Bray spend the big bucks and get you a sleep number bed?
Well, you did spend the big bucks on a sleep number bed, but neither I nor you use it anymore.
Right.
I like a really soft mattress. I want to feel like I'm going into a pillow. That's my mattress of choice. Very soft.
Right. Ciso Prey ends up using,
And Charlie
ends up using the sleep number bed these days. And apparently Charlie likes to jump on the bed. James Caserta says, I was a phase discriminator operator's assistant once. Very cool. I'm not sure what a phase discriminator operator's assistant does, but very cool. John Aragi asks if a library assistant is like a janitor. Father Stomp says, when will there be a Karoga versus Turtistan Jep Nerdy? when somebody can get salty to actually come on Jeopardy and they just do a 2-person game. Or I suppose you could do a 4-person game and have Kurdistan, Karoga, Alpacans, and the bunny people all up there. I don't know. That's for them to worry about. We are here to watch Enterprise, and we're going to go ahead and start doing that. Again, we're going to be watching season 1, episode 18, Rogue Planet. So head on over to the screening room, which I forgot to set up, but I will do it now as I speak. Give leader to Berto K.
You mean you were late and you still don't have this set up?
It's so
stream?
quick. It's set up.
Wow.
Now it's set up.
Wow.
I've got it down, Pat. It takes 10 seconds to set up. It's set up. So I'm going to go ahead and count down and start streaming. If you're on YouTube and you're only watching through YouTube, you'll get a screenshot every 10 seconds or so. If you're in the screening room, it will come up in just a few minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have Captain Archer in his seat, wondering why he couldn't do it in his ready room. Trip is taking a digital photo of Captain Archer. Every recruit is going to see this on the wall of Starfleet Command. There's a reflection. The artist needs a picture to paint from. Archer wonders why they can't use a photo from his file. It's a planet on their current heading. It's not a system, it's just a planet, says Malcolm. And there it is on the viewer. The file says it's a rogue, a planet that's broken out of its orbit. Trip finally took a picture. Mr. Lindell says it's buffering at his end, something crazy. YouTube or the stream? Chrono says I
Must be the
cheated.
ice storms in his area.
Skip most of the chat. Oh, yeah. Ice storms. That could be it. Yes, Cronus. It's been a long road. I've got faith of the heart. I didn't skip the chat, Chronos. Cody guy's in the house. Qapla Cody. James Caserta says, I can't do anything. If you're in the Berto Ray 5 screening room, you shouldn't have to do anything. It should just be playing. And the opening credits should have just ended. Rogue Planet supports a diverse animal population. Hot gas is venting from the planet's interior, that's where all the life is concentrated, says DePaul. So they did explain it. No evidence of humanoid life, but there's a power signature near the equator. The equator wouldn't be any warmer or colder than any other place on the planet if it's not in a star system. In fact, what the hell would the equator even be?
Obviously, it would be the place on the body farthest away from the poles, the rotating poles.
I suppose, is it even rotating though?
Why not?
It still has a magnetosphere.
I mean, if it has heat coming from the inside, it probably has a magnetic field and would be rotating. Almost everything rotates in space anyway.
Well, there certainly wouldn't be leaves. The whole point of leaves is to capture light, photosynthesis. If there's no light, there's no photosynthesis.
Maybe they work differently.
Random Menace is greetings from the future. I see we have a Strange New World fan club on the panel.
I think the Random Menace is seeing a different panel than what is actually here.
"28 merit badges." He's had 26 for Captain Archer. Not bad.
And not Archer's fault they added 2 after he got out of the scouts.
Miss Lundell says there'd be no sunlight, therefore no photosynthesis. There'd be no life despite interior heat. I don't know, Miss Lundell. We have life on this planet where there's been no photosynthesis and no light. There's no reason that you need light for life. You just need heat. And that's just for life as we know it. I mean, for life as we don't know it, God knows what you need. Writer Albert Lehner says, nice to see another Star Trek sci-fi channel on YouTube. Qapla writer Albert Lehner, I believe. We are all pretty much Trek fans here. Quite a few channels to check out if you are interested. John DeMarco does weekly Star Trek trivia, Jet Nerdy games, and puts out quite a few videos. Who else do we have here? Well, Mr. Lundell does groovy movies and sci-fi movies on Cinema Saturdays. Kronos is our lovable troll. Captain Fandom Nerd does occasional morning streams. Oh, and of course, yes, I do reviews and streams Mondays and Fridays called Bed Life. Sundays Twilight Zone, and every Wednesday Trek. And Resolute Germ, he streams as well. Saturdays.
And don't forget Question of Trek on the Question of Trek channel, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Absolutely. I do not like Discovery, Kronos. You know that. So the whole point of keeping this dark, I mean, it makes sense because there's no sun. So at least they did it right, but apparently it was really hard to film. And Dominic Keaton, the guy who plays Malcolm Reed, talked about how terrible it was trying to film, I guess at night. And it was full of bugs. And they were, every time they turn on the lights to record and film, you would just see all this stuff in the air that you were breathing in. It was terrible. You're welcome. I didn't fall asleep, Kronos. I'm watching the show. Damn it. Writer Albert Lanier says Enterprise was getting better and better, and then they canceled it. Oh well. Well, that is true. It was getting better and better by season 4. I don't know. I would say that was true at this point in the series. This is not one of the best episodes. You know,
I
objectively
can't disagree
speaking.
with that.
Next week's Acquisition is one of my favorite episodes. Certainly one of my season 1 favorites. Well, if she was fully clothed, the chances would be much higher. But half naked, yeah. Well, this episode is about hunters on a rogue planet. That's a planet with no sun, just spinning out there in space. But what it's really about is the hunters are hunting something they shouldn't be. And of course, the Enterprise crew has to step in and insert human morality. You really remember this episode? Oh, Mama Frey remembers this episode. Scripted videos are overrated, Random Menace. You know that. These eyepieces in no way make us look Borg. Live long and prosper, Kyle Cullen, Qapla. The Random Menace says scripted videos are not overrated. You are just lazy, too lazy to make them. And anyway, from you, I want rants. James Caserta says the AI is coming for us all.
I have to agree with Random Menace. Your rants are epic.
I don't ever recall going on a rant. I merely share my knowledge with the world. Kyle, I like Captain Archer. I think he's a good captain, especially given the fact he's the first captain out there doing these things. Nothing to really build from. Really, Miss Lowendale? You wouldn't let Archer date your daughter? Miss Lowendale says he's a horny ass sailor. Okay, fair enough. The Traveler, formerly known as Wesley Crusher, says, greetings, birds, salty turds, and nerds. Welcome, Traveler. And all the custom emojis open to channel members. Thank you, The Traveler. Dan Ben wishes we see more of the tech they're wearing in this episode. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think we see it again. Kronos, I told you the California Girls clip is out there. It's available. You Google search Birdo Prey 5 California Girls, it should come up. Or Birdo Prey 5X. See you all on Sunday, says James. Caserta. Qapla James. Sunday we do 2:30 p.m. Eastern for Twilight Zone.
She's right. This entire plot sounds like a bad Skinamax film.
Truth bomb, yeah. I'm glad the screenshots are coming in use. Random Menace. Your pa is strong. Great. The bad guys from Stargate Atlantis. Just a heads up. I've been brushing up on my poetry. As you all know, in Klingon culture, the man reads the love poetry. And so this Valentine's Day, there'll be a special release of some Klingon love poetry for the special Klingon woman in your life.
This ought to be good.
Will you be slaughtering a targ as well, Bird?
I'll see how it goes. But this is to get your Klingon woman in the mood. It's called My Klingon Valentine.
First time for everything.
Well, they rigged the hunt.
I say they cheated in the past, just like certain Jeopardy players.
For a second, I thought that was a salamander from Threshold. Wow. That episode was even worse than I remembered it being.
Yeah, very unremarkable.
They never go back and revisit it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, there isn't much there, is there?
I'm not even sure I fully get who she was.
She is the woman from the poem.
Oh. Well, that's nobody. Yeah. Well, that was one I'm happy to say we will never have to watch again. And Dan Vance's episode was never one I wanted to rewatch. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Dan Van. I hear you. Well, we never need worry about it again. Next week.
Most interesting part of that was that's her second appearance in Star Trek.
She wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
She was the least of the issues. So next week is Acquisition, which is a much better episode, if I say so myself. That's where we meet the Ferengi, but of course they don't know it's the Ferengi, and the Ferengi never really bother to learn what species it is that they're dealing with. And we get to see the Electro Whip is back. The famous Ferengi whips from TNG that were never used again in DS9 that I can recall, for a good reason. John
What would
DeMarco.
a bartender do with a whip?
That's true. John DeMarco says that's the problem with a lot of season 1 Enterprise. It isn't necessarily bad. It's just dull. Fodder Stomp says slow and boring episode. Yeah. Kronos is not a fan of the Ferengi. Neelix is in it. He's not in it as Neelix. Anyway. Resolute Germ, anything you want to say before we go?
No, it's fun being up here on weekends. Wish I could do it more. Or not on the weekends.
Right, weekdays. You're always welcome. Hope to see you again sometime. Professor, anything you'd like to say?
I just want to thank you for doing these. Can't make it very much on Wednesdays, but today we have an ice storm, so I'm at home, and luckily you were streaming, so thank you for doing that.
Gotcha, yes. Be safe throughout the ice storm.
Thank you.
Hope all is well. Stanley says Armin played one of those original Ferengi. Yes, he did in TNG, and then he spent his life in DS9 making up for it. Mr. Lundell says Cinema Saturday, 3 p.m. Central will be the Vampire Lovers. And Stanley says probably because Armin can pass for one without makeup. No, Armin.
Oh, that's just wrong. That's just
Armin
wrong.
Shimmerman's not Ferengi.
He certainly has the ears for it.
He might be the right height for it. But I think he has better teeth. Anyway. Scratch that. It's lust for a vampire, says Mr. Lundell. And Stanley says he's got the lobes for it. Har. Anyway, guys, thanks you all for coming. We'll be back. I'll be back Friday for Bed Life at 4 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you then. Qapla All, panel out.